Right, you guys, make sure you like this video and subscribe to Mike's, okay? Make sure. If you don't subscribe to Mike, you're gonna have a fat forehead and a big hairline.
Boom, I'm with the guy Max inside. Subscribe to him, make sure you do still. Best content coming out. You know how it is.
Hello and welcome back to another live, people. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Make sure you're smashing the likes and subscribe if you're new. Welcome back to the GBO show, season 2, episode 15. I'm pretty sure it is 15 anyway. I put it in the title, so it has to be right. If it's not, then it's the way of life. But we've got a lot to talk about. Literally, I know you might have all just watched Man United lose to 10-men Everton. What a day. What a day, as Harvey Price would say. What a day. But we're obviously not going to start with that. But Alfie, before we get into anything, bruv. What a weekend it's been for you. How you been, man? How you been?
It has been a good weekend, people. It has been a very, very good weekend as far as I'm concerned. We are back again for the GVO show. And like Mike said, we've got a lot to talk about over the course of this show. A lot of topics to bring up and a lot of things that need to be said. But yeah, I'm doing good inside and outside of football. I'm doing great.
Good to hear. Oh, my days. Business as usual for you guys. The annual battering. And this time it was even worse. Kez, you probably clicked on the wrong time. You probably clicked on the wrong time, Kez. Big up yourself. But, bruv, Arsenal battering Tottenham 4-1. Bro, take us through your thoughts and feelings, man. And just cook, bro. Say what you need to say. This is your time.
Some things never change. There are certainties in life. You're born, you live a life, you die, and you also get to see Arsenal batter Tottenham on a regular basis. Now, I said this not only after the game, but I said this during my match reaction as well. You man can talk all you want about your Europa League. You can talk all you want about what happened in Bilbao. Let's be real, of course you man were going to win in Bilbao. It was against Man United. A shit Man United at that, as we've seen tonight. So yeah, you man can talk all about it, but we all know who the bigger club in North London is. Simple as that. Some things never change. We own Spurs, and we owned them last night. I could have sworn I heard some man say it was a 50 Shades of Grey level domination last night. That's how bad it was from a Tottenham perspective. We took our dogs for a walk, Mikes. We took them for a walk, made sure they were fed, watered, and sent packing back to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Locked them back in their cage. Elijah, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But you can't hide. Jay as well. Talking about, 1-0 Spurs in the prediction on the North London Together show. 1-0 Spurs, yeah? I mean, it would have been 1-0 if we hadn't have scored 4.
Jay's been cooked all day, fam.
That was time to attack my relations, bruv. I am my uncle, yeah? You think I forgot about you? You meaty Tottenham fan. I know you were at the game yesterday. I know you left before full time. Because you couldn't take the beating. You couldn't take it. Eze rejected your club in the summer. Done his dance yesterday. Might I add, the first player to score a hat-trick in the North London derby since Alan Sunderland back in 1978. And how poetic that in Eberechi Eze's first North London derby as an Arsenal player, he scores 3 against the club he rejected to join in the summer. Honestly, Max, you couldn't write it. Now, don't get me wrong. I would have been a lot happier if it was a 4-0. But as I've previously stated, David Raya is more off his line than a cokehead who's just come out of rehab. Simple. Other than that, it was a 5-star performance. North London's red, baby.
Brother, that was so one-sided. Like, insanely one-sided. Like, you don't get more one-sided than that, really. Like, you guys got the setup spot on, they got it completely wrong.
Honestly, from minute one, you could tell that Tottenham's main game plan was to kind of take the fact that we had a lot of possession of the ball. They obviously knew that we were going to have a lot of possession in the game. So their rationale must have been, okay, we'll get the ball off of them, hoof it upfield, and hopefully catch them on the counter-attack. Well, that didn't work. Especially when you've got a pigeon like Richarlison up front. Now, I know he scored, but apart from that freak of nature goal, what the fuck did he do in that game? What did he do? For fuck's sake, Prime. For fuck's sake, Prime.
Did you have any doubt even going before the game about the Tottenham game?
I said we'd win 2-1.
Mm.
I said we'd win the game 2-1. I certainly thought it was going to be a lot closer of a game than what we saw. I thought Tottenham would have been way more up for it. Obviously, they've got a big game this week against PSG. You would have thought they would like to take some confidence out of the North London derby going into that game. But it's almost as if as soon as the first goal went in, heads dropped, confidence went, and it really did look like a team that was just going through the motions out there. The midfield was stiff. I didn't understand the setup. Now, don't get me wrong. I know Elijah said that was exactly how he wanted the team to set up. But I don't think there's many players that can come out of that game with their heads held high. I think the defence, apart from the odd moments, were okay as far as from a Spurs perspective. I feel really bad for the defence because it just seemed like they were trying to get the ball out and no one was up front to receive the ball. And the ball kept falling back to us and we kept taking advantage. It was like slicing through butter. And for that reason, we ended up with a 4-1 scoreline.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, I think what Tottenham should have done, like, cool, the 5-back is cool, but why are you dropping a man in midfield? I get it. Maybe more players up front on the counter, but like, if you play the 5-3-2, that's a Thomas Frank formation. I get it, cool. Bro, you can't play. I don't care whether the people play the 4 right in front of the 5. People are still going to find a way to get around the 2 in midfield. They're still going to find the gaps no matter what. So, it just felt like the complete wrong setup from Tottenham. Meanwhile, you might let Eze have the freedom of the pitch, and then he does that. He had a masterclass, didn't he?
Yeah. Absolute masterclass. And didn't put a foot wrong. I know he would have been fuming about the fact that he didn't make it 4. The way he was playing, I was surprised that he didn't make it 4. Could have had an assist from the early minutes. You know, if Rice had converted that shot in the 3rd minute, I think it would have been 5-1. Eze would have had a hat-trick and an assist. And it would have been an even better game for him. You know, I think everyone overall had a decent game. I know I usually tend to say that when you start Trossard, he doesn't necessarily have a great impact. But overall, I was very, very impressed with Trossard's performance. I think Saka had Destiny's number. I think out of the wing-backs, Destiny performed the better of the 2, in my opinion. I think Saka kind of had him in his pocket. In an ideal world, it probably would have made more sense to play Spence at left wing-back and Pedro Porro right wing-back, because as soon as Porro come on, he looked as if he was more up for it. And you never know, maybe from the start of the game, there would have been a chance that they wouldn't have been as behind, or maybe not even behind in the game at all. Maybe they should have started Xavi Simons. I think that will be another thing that they need to look back on. I can understand them wanting to rest him for the game against PSG, but at the end of the day, it's a North London derby, and 9 times out of 10, you're going to, maybe even 10 times out of 10, you're going to want your best players starting in that game. And maybe in terms of the selection, maybe Simmons should have started over Odebear. Because let's face it, Odebear didn't have a good game. Kudus was missing. I know a lot of people were talking before the game saying Kudus is gonna cook. You're gonna see why we've signed him and why we paid this much money. He didn't do much. I think Paulinho did okay. Obviously, making the tackle to get the goal for Spurs. But apart from that, there's no positives from a Spurs point of view as for that performance. Meanwhile, us on the other hand, it is a positive performance in the sense that we've managed to pick up 3 points. We've gone 6 points clear now on a weekend where, yes, Chelsea won 2-0 and are obviously are the closest team chasing us. But in terms of our quote-unquote title rivals, Man City and Liverpool dropping points, I know theoretically it looks as if Liverpool are out of it now. I don't think they can recover personally. But City, you've seen the way City have been performing recently. It looks as if they're back to their brilliant best. Then they go and drop points at Newcastle. And that is the start of a perfect weekend. And usually, as we've been in these situations before, especially where it's us fighting for the title against Liverpool and City, they've dropped points. We then have to capitalise in the next game and fail to do so. So again, it's nice to do that again and manage to capitalise going into the next game, which is against Chelsea, looking to go 9 points clear.
Yeah, that's that's very, very true. Very, very true. I think as well, like the whole thing when it comes to Tottenham is just comes to the point where it's like such bad squad building that like most starting 11s they start can't even be competitive with like an Arsenal or whatever. Because even Xavi Simmons, he's had a terrible start to the season, but I would still start him regardless, based on the fact that he had more attackers on the pitch and they looked slightly better even in the second half. But the problem is Arsenal took advantage straight away. Arsenal basically started the first half, second half as pretty much as you did the first half, and then stole the game, stole the show. Eze with a hat trick, and it was just like Eze scored the exact same goal 3 times. So it's like, I think it's Eze's first goal that really confused me about Tottenham. Is like he has so much space, he's taking this too long to actually shoot, and he didn't even need to do fuck all.
And even
Really.
if you look at the second goal as well, straight after half time, I think it was 35 seconds after the second half whistle went. As the ball's come to him, it's ricocheted off of his legs a couple of times before he's actually taken the shot and finished. You know, in that amount of time, a Tottenham player could have stuck a leg and maybe got the ball clear, but they failed to react, and Eze gets another goal. And again, like we've seen in the past, he scores against Tottenham, he starts laughing, and he was laughing again. You couldn't hide that laughter.
Couldn't, no. That hat trick, it was too poetic after the transfer saga. He rejected Tottenham for Arsenal. Scores a hat-trick on the first North London derby. How can you have Bentancur, Paulinho, and 5 defenders and nobody is like stopping that? Nobody's stopping that first goal. You've got all them defensive players there. Like that is a balance of the setup and the players' application on the day. It's like you need to close down play. I don't like this whole thing of like just trying to cut off an angle. Just close them down. It gives them something to think about, especially when you're about to shoot on the box. You can't give any professional footballer a chance to shoot from outside the box because they're professional footballers. Simple, they're going to try and pick out an angle. So if you give them something to think about, they might rush it. Simple as that. Like a Tottenham, man, you got to fix up. Like they're 9th now, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, 9th. Only
the
ahead
table
of United on goal difference.
Yeah, the table switched around very quick. Very, very quick. You got to get acting. We've got to go on a streak again because the new manager bounce kind of stopped. And I did say that they don't have many goals in their attack either. Like Kudus isn't a goal scorer, as I've said to people many times. He's not going to be able to do everything for you, lad. Like Kudus, Richarlison, and Odegaard. There's no goals in that. It's only a goal because like Ryan was off his line. And we know Richarlison isn't a goal scorer. Like Paulinho, Bentancur, 2 defensive as a pair. Then you got 5 defenders changing to 4. And the defense didn't even play well in either system. So it got tested on the day, man. Like nobody played forward for Tottenham.
I mean, going into the game, I think Paulinho was one of the players that I was actually worried about in this Spurs team, because I've seen the way that Paulinho's played against us. He's caused us a lot of trouble in that midfield. Fair enough, it may have been a midfield that had Jorginho in it, but at the same time, he did manage to cause an Arsenal team problems when he played for Fulham. So we kind of knew what we was in for when it came to Paulinho and his style of play. But at the same time, he failed to get into the game. He didn't really get a foothold in it. I don't think any of the Spurs players did. Not even the ones that came off the bench.
Yeah. I don't. You got to turn. It's a North London derby. Your players set up like that. No matter where you are on the table, that's a worrying sign.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Very embarrassing. Very embarrassing. It's like the front three just not effective. The midfield just losing every battle. There's no energy in that midfield. There's no balance to it. And it felt like it's just a bit of a losing mentality. It felt like a very backs against the wall thing. Like before it was 1-0, you was expecting Arsenal to score eventually, because we didn't see a shot from Tottenham in that first half. I'm pretty sure I don't think we saw a shot.
No, I don't think we did. I think all of the shots for them came in the second half.
Like Edgy's playing a chat about 0.07 xG.
Port Vale managed more.
Fucking hell. Like, that's crazy to me. I don't even look at XG, but what the fuck? You got to threaten the team.
You would have thought going into this game, because we all know how heated North London derbies can get. We all know it's, for lack of a better word, tribal when it comes to Arsenal and Tottenham.
Yeah.
And you would have expected Spurs to come into this game thinking, right, now's our chance to show why we're the biggest club in North London. Now's our chance to show our local rivals why we won the Europa League. You know, I know it was with a different manager and a different style of play, but the majority of the players that were in that team were in the same team that won in the Europa League final. So it's pretty much the same team, just with a few extras. But still, you're expecting that team to prove why they went on to win that European trophy. But the way they performed yesterday, rolling over like a submissive puppy, that Europa League might as well mean fuck all. If anything, the Carling Cup they won in 2008 meant more, because they actually played that game with heart.
Like, there's no point not capitalizing once you win something. They haven't capitalized. They're not going to. It's like they haven't kicked on. It's like it hasn't been a sign of turning over a new leaf. It feels like they've just gone back to type. When you look at
the history, and this is a comparison I'm going to use, because obviously both teams won trophies last season. Obviously Tottenham ending their 17-year drought, Palace getting their first trophy ever in their history. If you look at the history between the two clubs, realistically, after both of those clubs won trophies, you would have expected Tottenham to kick on first, because of the size of the club and because of the players they've got at hand. You would have expected them to kick on and have a better start to the next season and prove why they actually won the trophy. But that hasn't been the case. I mean, look at Crystal Palace. They're sat 4 positions above them, 2 points clear of Tottenham, with less games lost.
And they don't spend money like that. Like, at all.
I mean, you'd like to think with new owners, they'd probably start spending a bit more money. It's not like they haven't got any money. I mean, look at the amount of events that they host at that stadium. You were at one of them.
Oh yeah, I know. Like, Palace don't spend money like that.
Yeah, Palace don't spend money like that, and they've gone further.
Yeah, they don't spend money like that at all. But whereas Tottenham scattergun their money, it's like market opportunity after market opportunity. That's what they don't. There's no direction in their signings. Just like, if there's an opportunity to address something, we will. Like, if they were serious, they would have got an actual striker, not Colomani on loan. Like, if they were serious, maybe a bit of fullback depth. So, a doggy at least. They've only got one actual left back. maybe some actual balance in the midfield. Maybe a winger that's a goal scorer. But they just spend like it's their they spend like it's their last way of addressing something. Instead of like it being the forefront of trying to be proactive. That's the problem they have. That's going to cost them. Well, it has cost them. It's going to cost them even more. They didn't win against Chelsea. They lost. They couldn't beat Man United. They bottled it at the end, and they lost Arsenal badly. So the end of them street games are done. But this was a Man United you beat in the Europa League, and you let that happen. That's your problem. That's your problem. Like, at one point did we just say it's just an endless cycle? I get they won the trophy, but come on. Come on, man.
I think everyone kind of knew that it was going to be an endless cycle of Tottenham never winning anything. And it was a case of that Europa League moment in May, that was just a temporary high.
Mm.
And now we're seeing the come down.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like we see that a lot with Tottenham. It's like a little time is good. It goes a bit mid. Then we start talking about the manager's style of play. Then it just peters out. They get a new manager or whatever. But on your side of things, what are you saying about the title now, the title race? What are we saying now?
Well, for me personally, I'm still taking the same laid back approach to the situation. I'm not necessarily going to be in a position of believing that we're going to win the league until it's mathematically possible. Yes, we're in a good position now, but like I've said in the past, we've been in good positions before. And it's always sort of petered out towards the last 5-6 games. And we've never really been able to claw back that deficit after spending X amount of days at the top of the table. I mean, the main one that we can think about when it comes to that is the 22-23 season. The amount of time we spent top. We were top at Christmas, top going into the World Cup break. It's looking good. You're thinking we're going to win the league. We beat United, go to 50 points. We keep getting these late winners, Bournemouth, Aston Villa. You know, we're seeing these performances on a regular basis. We're winning games when we should win games. And then all it takes is a run of games, which started obviously at that game at Anfield, a game we should have won, in my opinion. I think we got too complacent in that game, dropped 2 points. Then it happens again at West Ham. Again, a game I think we should have won, a game that was there for the taking, and we let West Ham back into it. And then it comes down to the Southampton game. Southampton in control for the majority of the 90 minutes. This was a team that was going down. We were a team that were fighting for the league. On paper, it shouldn't have been a question as to who was going to go on to win that game. But as Arsenal usually like to do, they like to turn the tables and put themselves at a disadvantage and then fail to claw it back. And then we ended up losing against Forest, handing City the title without winning them even needing to play. So that's exactly why I'm sat here saying until it's possible and there's no chance of it slipping up, I'm not going to believe that we're going to win the league, because I've been here before and I've got too excited way too quickly and ended up missing out at the end.
Do you think this is the best position you've been in so far, though, in your title races?
I think in terms of results, I definitely think we've been in a better position than we have been in the past. Obviously, I think there's been a lot of games that we've had in past seasons where, you know, we've dropped the odd point here and there. Yes, we've dropped a couple of points this season. Well, 5 if you count 7 points if you count the Liverpool game. But I think at the moment, the way that we've been playing, we're in a position where, you know, there's been games where we haven't necessarily played well, but there have been games that we've gone and slapped teams, like the game against Tottenham, the game against Atletico, and that's just me talking from an all-competition standpoint. But as far as the Premier League goes, I think right now, after the same amount of games, I think we're in just as good a position, if not better, a position than we were in the first season when we challenged for the league.
Yeah, I think this is the best position you've been in as well, because of the teams that are failing right now. The teams that are failing right now are like Chelsea are up there right now, but City, like the problem is with City, like I think they're better than they were, but it's just that one odd away day, like a Newcastle or Villa, that will keep them afloat. That's like they haven't been like more difficult to beat on those type of days where they haven't been able to grind out certain results and as consistent. But you guys seem to be very consistent right now. It's been a while since you've lost a league game.
Mm. We haven't lost we haven't lost since we lost at Anfield.
Yeah, and you don't look like losing anytime soon in the league. Like you don't. I don't even know who your next game is.
Chelsea.
Oh, it's Chelsea. Oh yeah, it's Chelsea. Yeah. Like, and that you haven't lost to Chelsea in a very, very long time.
We haven't lost at the Bridge in a while.
Yeah, you haven't lost to Chelsea in general since the Lukaku game.
Yeah.
And 18-19 was your last Stamford Bridge one. So it's been a long, long time since you lost to Chelsea. Like you have a good record against them.
It does give me confidence. I mean, apart from the fact that we drew our last two games at the Bridge, I still think we can go there and get a decent result. At minimum, I'm expecting a draw from that game. Any more than that is a bonus, in my opinion, because even though Chelsea have got some players out and some players that haven't been necessarily consistent this season, they're still a team that you need to be careful of, and a team that can capitalise on poor decisions and mistakes. It's definitely a bonus for us in the sense that Cole Palmer's not going to be playing, because I feel like when he does play, a lot of the attacking work does go through him. It does seem like he is that linchpin in midfield. Yes, I know he's got Caicedo and Enzo behind him, but the creativity, all of the passes out wide, whether he'll take it from on goal himself, score from the penalty spot, he can do it all. And he is a very, very tough player to play against. But the fact that he's going to be out for this game is a bonus for us. Although I do know that there are still players in that Chelsea team that we need to look out for. I'm still fairly confident going into this game off the back of the game against Tottenham. And if we put in a good performance against Bayern Munich, I'll be even more confident.
Yeah, Bayern midweek will be interesting, because as much as Luis Diaz is out, they've been on top form as well. They look really good. They look like a contender for the Champions League, to be honest. They're actually my favourites. For me, I think they could win it this year, if I'm being real, given how everyone else is. But just in general, I think you're on a good trajectory right now. Obviously, you guys don't have a good history of getting over the line. You don't at all. We know this already. I feel like you've got the best squad to handle any form of injuries, though, with Gabriel injured. Hincapié came in. Looked decent. Looked very comfortable. What did you make of him?
I think considering the fact that obviously he hasn't really had many appearances so far in his time at Arsenal. Obviously, he had a couple of injuries. I think he did come to our team injured as well. So hasn't really had that many opportunities to make his impact. Obviously, his first game in the Champions League against Bilbao only had 5 minutes or so. Apart from that, he's had the odd 15, 20-minute spell in a couple of games. So seeing him from the start, I knew it was going to be interesting. I mean, personally, I probably would have stuck him at left back instead of left centre back and started Mosquera. Mainly because obviously we've seen Hincapié, he can play in that position. He's either played in that position, left back or left wing back in a back five, or the left centre back in a back three. So he's usually used to covering that wide defensive area. Whereas Calafiori, we all know what this guy's like. You know, we've all seen the Lee Gunner memes, the Sweet Prince. we've all seen that crap. But you know, it was a decent performance from Hincapié, and I'd definitely like to see him play more. You know, as for whether he stays at centre back, I feel like he's got enough pace on him to get forward and track back at the same time. So maybe either in the game against Bayern or the game against Chelsea, try and test him at left back, see how he does. Play Mosquera alongside Saliba because like when Mosquera's played, I don't really think he's put a foot wrong either. So, you know, it gives us something to think about. Obviously, with Gabriel being out for a little while, doesn't really fill you with much confidence because, as we said before, Gabriel's been our more consistent defender out of the partnership.
Yeah.
But I feel like the main discussion that's been happening is usually when players go down with injuries at Arsenal, we haven't got the depth to make up for the lack of quality. But now it does feel like we have got the depth, and it looks as if we could miss Gabriel for a few weeks and not have as much of a drop off in defence than we would have in previous seasons.
Yeah, that's fair because you guys have actually. What do you think? The quality of depth is good enough? I don't know, but like you got depth in every position. We've addressed this before in previous episodes of the show. Like you got depth in pretty much every single position that you have. So whenever you do have an injury, you can pretty much have someone for a couple games at least to fill in. Like Gabriel's going to be out for a month or maybe two. Like so, you got players to cover for that. I thought it would have been Mosquera as well, but Arteta wanted someone that's left-footed, so I get it. But you got players that can cover different positions. And at least this time, if you go through a crisis, your squad won't be as much of a drop-off as it usually is, for example. At least you can somewhat cover for that as well, which is good for you guys at least. That's just some of the comments from earlier. I had Keenan Anderson on the bench for your FPL. Oh, fucking unlucky, bruv. Unlucky, bruv. Yeah, we'll get onto the Man United one, especially later. Look better with Gray and Dragusin at the back with Ange. Yeah, that's dark. That's dark still. When Archie Gray and Dragusin were playing centre back, that was a dark time. Spurs needed that arse whooped after shitting the bed and pissing on their Europa League trophy with that after that performance. I hear it. Max, I'm not going to lie, Everton are doing brilliant under Moyes. Saw some West Ham fans saying Moyes is finished and saw the honeymoon period is over and Everton fans have woken up and Moyes doing well this season. The thing is, before the Fulham game, not people were saying Moyes out anyway. So I think that, just, as I said before, I never said West Ham. Never said Everton are gonna do anything mad or do anything shit. They're just gonna finish mid-table. It's nothing more than that. They'll have games when they win. They'll have games where they lose. They're not going to do anything special. So brilliant is a big word, but I get it. You're trying to rage bait. Until they back the ideas up, I'm going to continue to call J names like Two Chains, and J Charles. 2 Chains. Fuck's sake. 2 Chains. Oh my god. Fuck's sake, man. I swear Lee has AIDS when he does the kind of... What the... I don't think that's what AIDS does. And when we have the depth, it's not good enough depth. Let's see by the end of the season. I hear it. I guess you'll fully see the range of your depth once you're fully knee deep in all competitions. Like past the group stage or group phase of the Champions League, you'll see the proper realness when it comes to Arsenal's depth. I guess in the Christmas period as well, to be fair. We're coming up to the Christmas period. There's going to be a lot of games. So, fair enough. When it comes to Arsenal, I think you're going to see the true Arsenal in a few months' time. But some people want to...
Between now and Christmas, we've got 2 Champions League games. We've obviously got Chelsea, Brentford, Villa, Wolves, Brighton and Villa again in the Premier League. We've got 2 Champions League games against Bayern and Bruges. And then we've got Palace in the quarterfinal with the League Cup. So there is a lot of games in this month. And it's no surprise. There's always a lot of games in the month of December. It's probably the most jam-packed time of the season, every season. So it always is an interesting thing to see how the squad's going to do with the amount of games in that month. But I'm hoping that we've got the depth good enough to come out of those games unscathed and in a better position than what we are now.
Yeah, for sure. Like, That's always how squads are tested. It's the Christmas period because there's so many games for everyone. Even if you're not in European football, there's a lot of not a lot, but a few Premier League midweek games as well to spice things up along the way. So it'll be interesting. Still, it will be interesting. A lot of people, obviously, the Man United game just happened, so Man United never fails to surprise me. I know people tried to like say that they've turned a leaf or whatever, and they could have gone third if they won. But every time you think that, oh my god, a team could be in this position if they win, there's a reason why they never reach that position. It's because they are who they are for a reason. Now, again, the points are tight, the gaps are tight, but nobody is really hyping the teams that are around Manchester United. The teams that are around Manchester United are either teams you don't expect to be there or teams that are being criticised a lot, like Tottenham and Liverpool. So there's not really an achievement to be where you are right now. It's not. And it wasn't going to be if you finished third. Now, Ruben Amorim, I don't know how worse it can get, but he did the exact same thing he did in the Europa League final. When he was 1-0 down, he kept 5 defenders on the football pitch. Against 10 men Everton today, with one of their teammates slapping his own teammate, he kept 5 defenders on the pitch throughout the whole game again. And Amad Diallo as a wing-back being one of them. So, cool, it's 4 defenders on the pitch. But he put Dallo for Dorgu. It's like, at that point, you know what you're going to... Why would you... I know Dorgu was just shocking. He was shocking. But Dallo's going to cut in. Everyone knows what he's going to do. He's not going to take his man on going down the left-hand side. I don't get Ruben Amorim. I don't get Manchester United in general. I don't get why people keep trying to hype him. I don't give a shit about Cunha. Because Amorim trying to fit Diallo and Mbeumo Cunha all the time is always going to hinder Manchester United anyway. So when Cunha was out, he played Diallo and Mbeumo just behind Xerxes, who was very unlucky to not score today. Pickford with a great performance. Pickford is very, very disrespected. So he has to get his credit where it's due. He pretty much kept Everton's lead around the end of the game. And Man United once again show how much they've underperformed and what they're capable of when it comes to bozo moments. So Diallo and Mbeumo behind Xerxes was never the right idea. Again, Sesko and Cunha are out. Cool, whatever. Sesko's not been that great. He's not a great player. It's his first year in the Premier League, so I'm not going to go too harsh on him, but I don't think he was ever that good in the first place. But also, Mateus Cunha, you can't rely on one man. If your squad was that good, Cunha out shouldn't be a problem. He persists with this Casemiro Bruno pivot. Once again, Manchester United disappoint. What do you even say about Man United at this point? Losing to Everton at home. I don't remember the last time I saw Man United lose to Everton at home. And I don't remember seeing David Moyes win at Old Trafford. That doesn't happen.
I mean, David Moyes rarely won at Old Trafford when he was United manager. So
yeah,
you couldn't. It wasn't expected for him to win this game. But like you said, Man United, it's like clockwork right now. They think they can try and pull the wool over everyone's eyes. Oh yeah, we're back. We won 3 games in a row. We're gonna make it 5, but 2 draws over the past couple of games have derailed them, and it really looked as if, from what I've seen anyway, it looked as if those past couple of draws have rattled them and knocked their confidence a bit. And from a Man United standpoint, you'd like to think that by the next game, they would have had that confidence back. Yes, I know they've lost at home, but when you're trying to build a team back up after the abysmal season that they had last season, there are going to be some bumps in the road. But you just need to keep pushing and make sure you're not letting those bumps get to you.
Yeah, facts. When it comes to Man United in general, how can you lose to a team who had 2 people fighting in the same team?
Literally.
And people want to say, oh, it's not a red card, and they brought out a video of Enzo slapping Reece James. Enzo was slapping Reece James out of celebration. If it's a fight, and it's a cause of a fight, and the teammate is slapping their own teammate, it's still a red card, and it's been given before. It's like no teammate when they're arguing is slapping their other teammate in like wake the fuck up or anything. It's out anger. You can't do it on the football pitch. It's a red card, simple as that. But the point is, Man United lost to a team who did that. Everton just stood in a 4-4-1 formation and countered, and they looked like they still had 11 men on the pitch. So that's Man United's fault for playing into that. You literally have the extra man on the pitch and you don't do anything apart from change the build-up play to fucking counter that. 5 defenders on the pitch. Also, Mazzarari at right wing back, we've seen this multiple times before. It doesn't work. You bear it right centre back in this formation. So why does Amorim keep doing it? I do not know. Luke Shaw, once again, can people give it a rest? Just because he had 2 good games like 5 games ago. Can we stop this whole Luke Shaw nonsense? It's 2025 and you're still going on about Luke fucking Shaw. Bro, he signed for Manchester United 11 years ago. In fact, it might have been 12. No, it wasn't 12. It was 11 years ago under Van Gaal. And you might are still going on about Luke Shaw. Let's be serious. It's 2020. When Luke Shaw signed for Manchester United, I was starting year 7. I am a 22-year-old man. Give it a rest. You can complete primary school and secondary school in the reign of Luke Shaw's time at Manchester United. If you don't include nursery and reception. You can complete primary school and secondary school, year 1 to year 11. And Luke Shaw will still be at Manchester United. Don't talk to me about Luke Shaw. Cool, Maguire's turned it around for his career because he's shown consistency. He's shown key moments. What has Luke Shaw done? He's done nothing but eat. That's all he's done is eat. Well, that's all he's done. And Bruno Fernandes needs to give it. People need to give it a rest for Bruno Fernandes, bro. I can't lie. Well, the most overrated player to ever play in the Premier League by a million miles because of how many times he's been touted as a world-class player and up there with Kevin De Bruyne and all of this nonsense. Brother, please fuck off. Like, when it comes to Bruno Fernandes, I don't see him when it matters. The only time I ever saw it when it matters was, fair enough, the FA Cup final. Since then, and before then, he doesn't turn up when it matters. When Man United need their captain, a leader, to help the team turn it around, to make it 2-1, people be like, oh, it's one player, you're the captain, mate. Appear out of nowhere. Oh, but when he's playing deeper and all of this, bro, he was not going to do anything in the left 10 either, so fuck off. The guy, all he wants to do is just take long shots anyway. That's all he did was take long shots. And Xerxes was unlucky. He could have had 2 goals. He tested the keeper. Where was everyone else? I do not know. Manchester United, you need to... Oh, no. I don't know what you need to do. You need to sack Amorim, but you should have sacked him a long time ago. Like, it's gone to a point now where nobody cares if he's sacked or not. Nobody cares. They just know he's going to be there. He's comfortable being there.
That and their owners have said he's getting 3 years regardless.
Yeah. So he's in a comfortable position. He knows he cannot fail. He knows there's no repercussions for whatever he does. And once you have someone at your club that's too comfortable with no repercussions, it contains complacency. It breeds bad mentality. So what we do there? Manchester United, man. It's 2025. Maybe move into that circus stadium that you're trying to build. I don't know, man. I don't know what's next. I don't know what's next for them. You're going to keep buying players. And then what? I don't know. I don't know what you're going to do next. I don't know what Man United are going to do next. When does it get to a point, where projects turn into results, where projects and processes and all this nonsense, they actually figures out into something? Like, Man United have been doing that for years. Longer than any team. They've been doing it longer than anyone. Hasn't gotten anywhere. Not on a consistent basis. It's got you the trophy that you've never capitalised on. You never capitalised on the League Cup. You never capitalised on the Europa League. You never capitalised on the FA Cup you won. You never capitalised on any trophy that you won. So, where is it getting you? I do not know. But bro, they're not the only team in red that embarrassed themselves at home this weekend. Liverpool lost 3-0 to Nottingham. I couldn't believe what my chat was saying. Like, I expected them to, like, draw something, maybe. You can't fucking contain your laughter. Like, just listening to Liverpool losing. Bro. What do you make of this, bro? What's happened to Liverpool, man?
It's so good, bro. It's so good. Oh yeah, we're gonna walk the league again. We got Isak, we got Wirtz, Milos Kerkez, bro's dog. Isak, man, nah, you ain't got Isak. You got Specs up front. You got Specs up front. Wirtz. I said this in Mike's chat while he was doing the watch along for the game against Bournemouth. Even with Wirtz in the team, it looks like he ain't there anyway. With Kerkez, they're better off with Robertson at left back. And he's washed now.
Yeah, they're both washed.
I mean, one's going to a World Cup and one isn't.
Oh, yeah. But that's a nationality problem. Isak's declaring for Somalia. He's not even Somalian. Like, well, even if Ekatike should get it. But why is Isak playing over Ekatike? What has Isak done this season to play over Ekatike?
Ekatike's had the better start. But I think because Isak's more of a name, they've gone with Isak. But Ekatike's had the better start this season.
Like, Ekatike, based on merit, should be the starting striker. Liverpool got PSV in the midweek. It's not like they got, like, some mad fucking Champions League. They might even lose. Fuck it. Because PSV battered Napoli, so they might fucking lose. But still, it's not like they haven't got Barcelona like Chelsea. They haven't got Bayern Munich like Arsenal. They haven't got PSG like Tottenham. You got PSV. So, why is Ekatike being benched of all people? That's clownery. That's clownery. I can't lie. Like, you can't lose three. Wait, the Forest are beaten Liverpool 2 years in a row at Anfield, and Liverpool scored no goals in either game.
Yeah, it is 2 years, isn't it?
Yeah, because Hudson-Odoi scored last year. They lost 1-0. You know who played well that game for Nottingham Forest? Fucking James Ward-Prowse. That was his only good game for Forest. Like, it's dark, man. It's dark. Like, it's not just a Nuno thing for Liverpool and Forest. It's a Dyche thing. Dyche just won another game at Anfield after like 5 years ago or whatever it was with Burnley, when they lost 6 home games in lockdown. Like, this
run from Liverpool does feel like a lockdown Liverpool run. First season after winning the league title. Yes, I know you can say injuries were a massive problem for Liverpool during that season after they won the league. But I don't think you can make that same excuse now.
But is anyone noticing a pattern with Liverpool where each season, like since the lockdown season, they've had one really bad season and one really good season every time now? Because do you not remember the season where Liverpool beat Tottenham 4-3 or whatever it was, and Klopp pulled his hamstring? I'm pretty sure they had a terrible season that season.
They finished 5th.
That was a terrible season for Liverpool. And
they finished 5th in that season, despite at the start of said season slapping Bournemouth 9-0.
And it was that. And then the next season, they were in a title race, sort of third. And then Slot wins the league, cool. And then now, there's a bit of a thing. They've had signs of really bad seasons as of recently. Is there not a bit of a pattern? like, I still feel like a lot of the core of the players that won the league with Liverpool all those years ago, I think there's a lot of the core that's there that's starting to drown out a bit. Like, I'm not saying they're the letdowns because I feel like if every player is looking bad at Liverpool, there's only one man to look at. So, in your honest opinion, yeah, as somebody who's wanted Arteta out for a long time, you see Liverpool win the league, and you see Arne Slot do this. What is your honest opinion, yeah, on what Arne Slot is doing right now at Liverpool, like, and stuff like that as well? Like, what, like, because he's not getting enough criticism, in my opinion, from other fans. Because he's getting a lot from Liverpool fans, funny enough.
Yeah. I think the main thing at this point is obviously Liverpool fans are criticising Arne Slot a lot. And to be fair, it's been justified. Because you rarely see teams. Yes, I know you've seen teams that win the league and then have a major drop off. You know, but those are teams that you wouldn't necessarily expect to win the league, or teams that are going in transition. But Liverpool started that transition last season. They were transitioning from playing under Klopp to playing under Slot. And they went on and walked the league last season. So there was no excuses for them to start this season not trying to push for the league again, not trying to retain the league title. They shouldn't have. There was no reason for them to do that. But even from the start of the season, you've started to see cracks in the way that Liverpool have played. Because yes, they've got results, especially in the first 3 games against Bournemouth, Newcastle, and Liverpool, against Arsenal, sorry. They won all 3 of those games, but they won all of those games late. They were relying on moments of greatness towards the end of a game to get them out of trouble. And you started seeing the cracks then. Burnley relying on a moment of madness that wins them a penalty. They weren't winning games convincingly, and you've started to see the cracks emerge in the way that they've played, and you're starting to see those cracks come to fruition now, because they can no longer rely on the late goals to get them out of games, because teams are just putting them away early. And now they're in a position where they need. I know they should have sorted this out ages ago, but now they're in a position where they really need to buck their ideas up, because at this rate, forget being in a title race. At this point, they're in a top 4 race. That's how badly they've started this season.
Like, I was saying this on the watch along as well. Like, they've gone past the thing of like being declined in the title race. Like, this is top 4 level. Like, for me, they were out of the title race a long time ago. Like, a long time ago. Like, and after that result against Manchester City and a performance, they weren't coming back anytime soon. They got schooled.
I mean,
Man City are above.
Don't get me wrong. There are times where teams in title races will have a drop off in form and they'll be like, "Oh, it's just a dip." They'll be back in the title race before you know it. And 9 times out of 10, they usually are. Think of City. City are serial winners when it comes to the Premier League. We've both seen they don't start seasons correctly. They do have the odd losses here and there, but come May, they're always in a title winning position.
They are.
This is too much of a drop off to even recover from, to get back into a title race. They are fighting for top 4 now.
Liverpool, man. This is what I'm saying. I don't think Kirkes, Isak, Wirtz are as bad as they look. These are, and the reason why I say this is because I think Salah is petering off.
Salah's washed.
Salah's petering off. Kirkes, Wirtz, and Isak kind of just turned bad. Like, all your great signings that you signed in the window can't just turn bad. Like, it's not a coincidence. You didn't just sign bad players. They were all doing well at their previous clubs for a reason. So I'm looking at the manager because of that.
I watched the highlights of the game against Forest at the weekend, and I know that obviously the highlights aren't a true representation of what happened during the game. But there was one moment that I saw where Liverpool were attacking and they've got a chance, and you see Salah with the ball, and you can see him trying to recreate. You remember the goals that he scored against City and Watford in that season where they were running for the quadruple under Klopp, where he was kind of fake shotting it inside, fake shotting it outside, and then eventually taking the ball on his weaker foot. You could see him trying to do that. But he already knows in the back of his mind, he's like, I can't do it no more. And that's a sign of a player who is declining fast. And Liverpool and Slot constantly catering to him to try and get him into the team because he is Mo Salah isn't going to do any favors for his decline in performance.
Then
I think while Salah's away, I feel like while Salah's going to be away at AFCON this winter, it's going to give Slot a massive amount of time to think, okay, I need to decide whether I'm going to continue with Salah post AFCON or whether I start looking for a player who I've got that's coming through or a player who can prove himself to then come in and be that replacement for Salah, even when he does come back from AFCON.
Bro, yeah, because as much as like Salah is the only one, yeah, you know what I was just saying about Amorim? About like, you can play, for example, and or you can manage, or you can keep your job, you can keep your place within your workplace with no repercussions. So but once you fail in an individual game, there's going to be no repercussions from it. It endures complacency. Salah is at a point now where he's not the same Mohamed Salah. He doesn't have the explosiveness, and the further he's wigged out on the touchline, the more of his general footballing ability is being shown up to be very one-dimensional because he doesn't create enough. And he's not a creator in general. He's a goal scorer. He needs to be close to goal. So in general, I don't think Slot's got the balance of the team right, but when you're just picking players based off name, that becomes a problem at a club. We talk about a nation all the time, but at a club, don't really talk about like Van Dijk. At least it's not played as bad as Mohamed Salah has. Van Dijk has the odd bad game, but Van Dijk, you can tell there's a big hole in there. Whereas if you take out Salah and you put in someone else now, and they play just as bad, it will still be like Salah's playing right now. Chiesa has not played near enough minutes as he should be. I don't know whether it's something political or whether Slot doesn't like him, but he was one of the most clutch players of the start of the season, and he doesn't start. I don't think he started a Premier League game, but could be wrong. If he has, it might be one or two. But in general, he hasn't got the balance of the team correct, and they haven't got a sitter in the team. I don't think Gravenberch is a sitter. I know it worked last season, but I think the difference between last season and this season is that Slot tweaked it to his way while still playing similar to how Klopp plays. Meanwhile, you're seeing completely of how Arne Slot wants to play this year, and it's not working. And it's not working at all. So Slot should be sacked. I'm going to say Slot should go. Slot should be sacked. They've lost 5 in their last 6, I'm pretty sure. In all competitions. If not, it's the Premier League. I'm pretty sure it's all competitions. I don't see a place where Slot should be staying right now. I don't see any justifications why Slot should be staying. And also, someone in, like, if you're Szoboszlai right now, I don't know why you're playing right back. I don't care if you're playing better than the current right backs there. You should still be playing someone in their position over a player that's played completely out of position, because 1 or 2 games at right back isn't gonna do it. And the fear factor is gone. Teams are sensing blood when it comes to Liverpool now. Teams are not fearing Liverpool, which is why, onto AJ's thing about maybe West Ham beat Liverpool, I hope we go on to beat Liverpool, and I hope we don't give in to the fear factor, and I hope we beat them for the first time since the 21-22 season. But at the same time, I know what this club's like. At this point, I don't really care. Moyes chasing Slot for top team in Merseyside. The boys, fuck that. I said this all at the beginning of the season about Liverpool. Fair enough. I do because Frimpong ain't all that. But yeah, but Szoboszlai ain't doing fuck all either. Like, I would still rather have someone a bit quicker at right back. Szoboszlai ain't doing fuck all. And I'm not even going to blame him. Because you know what? Szoboszlai's been playing decent at midfield this season. He's actually been one of their better players in midfield. And the only reason why is because he actually runs a little bit. I don't believe in running merchant players, but at least he covers the fucking energy. At least he covers the energy that some of these players don't have. Because what their problem was as well, playing Wirtz, McAllister, and Gravenberch, they ain't nobody running, like, covering all the spaces. They ain't nobody putting a foot in, really, apart from Gravenberch. McAllister could try and put a foot in half the time. He's getting a yellow card. More than likely getting a yellow card. It's very likely. I said you my prediction at the start of the season early that Liverpool wouldn't win the league, and my table isn't looking bad so far. Who did you predict to win the league? Was it City, AJ? I know my level for Liverpool on my bench. Fair enough. For me, I need to see West Ham expose space. I'm not having this 6 defenders shit again. I don't want to see 6 defenders against Liverpool, but given what I saw against Bournemouth, I feel like I know how we're going to approach the game. Don't give it to the fear factor. Yeah, Damien did predict Arsenal. Yeah, you also did last year, to be fair. You did last year as well. But, I predicted Liverpool. I just thought there's no way. I thought Isak would be the guy to, like, just kill it off. Oh, boy. I at least thought Kirkes and Isak would settle in. But if everyone is looking shit, there is one man to blame. I don't believe Wirtz, Isak, and Kirkes are this bad. You don't just turn this bad in a year. You don't. City first, Liverpool second, and Arsenal third. That was my top 3. I said Liverpool's lack of depth at DM and centre back would screw them. So I agreed with you about the depth. My only thing was I thought it would be enough to win the league, and I thought they would do terrible in every other competition. I thought they would go out of the Champions League very easily. FA Cup and Carabao Cup they wouldn't win, but they would just win the league based on general quality. But even that, they're probably going to go trophyless this season, if I'm being so honest. They're probably going to have a City of last season. They're having City's last season. That's what they're having. This is the City of last season, not the City of normal. Liverpool are doing what City did last year. That's what's going on. That is really and truly what's going on. Which is why it's looking mad right now. Arsenal and Chelsea are first and second. It's looking mad. Now, I didn't think Chelsea would be in a mad time, right? I thought maybe December, January, they'll peter off, depending on their January window, but they're up there right now. And to be fair, compared to, I know we laughed at them for the Sunderland game, but their form has been really good as well. So, it's been a very fucking weird season. The table is still... I feel like the table isn't this tight and close at this part of the season. I don't feel like it's this close. I don't feel like I always see teams jumping from 9th to 3rd. What the fuck is it? Oh, you put this question in twice, Glassy. What do you mean Eze as manager? Would you take Eze? Okay. Hire Chelsea 4th. Their centre backs keeper manager will hold them back. I don't think their manager's bad. But I think 4th is fair. I predicted 3rd. I said Arsenal 4th. Fucking hell. But yeah, I think I don't think their manager's going to be the one that holds them back necessarily. But I do hear you. But centre backs and keeper, I completely hear. Much as Sanchez has been decent as of recently, I wouldn't rely on him. Yeah, as they did cook Spurs. Most obvious comment, but still. Like, Eze scored the exact same goal 3 times as we discussed earlier. So that's like Tottenham really needed to, like, just for, wake up a bit, But listen, people, I am going to end it there. I'm going to redirect over to Sheik. So I need everyone to say Mike's Raid in Sheik's channel. Go and say Mike's Raid. They're doing Mud Brothers right now. Alfie's think it's in the title, people. And yeah. Take care and peace.